Quality Radio.
Welcome everyone, this is 5RoundMMA. My name is Alex Ramirez alongside my co-host Albert Cito. We're down a man today. Mr. Guillermo Cito's MIA in FLA, Florida. So if he comes in, checks in, we'll have him join us here. But we got kind of a random week, stuff to talk about. A lot of different things happen, mostly outside the octagon, cage. There were some fights, LFA. Everybody's new MMA crush, Mackenzie Dern, was victorious. If you don't know, just throw it in Google and you'll be.
I can't leave my girl Alexa
Graçal. But I mean, if you're more than a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist, Mackenzie Dern's right there for you. She was victorious in the LFA. Seems LFA is gonna ride her as much as promote her.
Whoa,
Sorry about that.
That's not that kind of show. This isn't XFM radio.
Yeah, they're gonna strap the rocket on her and have her go as much as they can. So. Yeah, she's mostly, I think, a grappling specialist. So, but she's going for it anyway. So LFA certainly has a star on their hands. Just like Google her, and then you'll thank me later. But this week's show, we like to talk about Conor McGregor breaks his silence against Tony McGregor. Robbie Lawler versus Rafael Dos Anjos, number one contender match. Michael Bisping backs off on retirement. Ronda Rousey and Travis Browne to WWE. Plus Mark Hunt versus the UFC. A lot to talk about. But before, Albert, how are you doing with the Mr. Dodger Blue over here?
Man, well...
As of this recording, they're up 1-0 from the Cubs, right?
If it wasn't for the Dodgers' success, my life would be terrible right now. Because fantasy football is not going my way.
Yeah.
The Lakers' preseason has been, kind of rocky. But then again, my boy Lonzo Ball hasn't played.
Yep.
So, thank God for the Dodgers.
Living vicariously through Dodger Blue. Actually, get Guillermo. Let's see if we can get him on hold. We can get him on the line right now. Let's see if we can...
The number one, good thing we're getting Guillermo on the line because he's an Angels fan. And
oh yeah,
what's going on with the Kings? I saw the Kings something big. Are they in playoffs? Hockey?
Hockey's even started yet. Hey, Guillermo, we are recording now. How's it going, man? Hello, Guillermo, can you hear us?
No.
Yes, Guillermo. This is FiveRound.
Guillermo, you're on the air now.
Hello,
can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
All right, we are actually recording now. So tell us about Dodger Blue in Florida. How's it going over there, man?
Thankfully, guys, there is no Dodger Blue over here.
One of Houston Orange, or
it
what?
seems like just NFL and a couple Cubs stuff, but thank God, man, I'm tired of the Instagram posts.
Woo! Well, don't be looking in your feed today because I already have all my gifs and pictures of Puig ready to go.
You get your hairline look like Puig.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some little stars,
like
zigzags,
Cuban style haircut, like Guillermo likes to get over there.
I just wouldn't celebrate. I wouldn't celebrate too quick because those Houston Astros are no joke.
Yeah,
so.
for real.
No, seriously, I'm terrified of Houston.
All right, so let's get this timer started. Ready for round number one? So, in the world of mixed martial arts, especially today, 2017, there's not too many things that, there's a few things that are milestones. Winning championship, Demetrius Johnson, consecutive title defenses. Not too many things I've made it. I'm somebody now. And in 2017, to really gauge if you made it is if Conor McGregor is on your radar. Do you guys agree with that? Guillermo, do you agree with that?
100.
No, I don't agree.
Oh my God! So anyway, after Tony Ferguson defeated Kevin Lee to become the interim UFC lightweight champion, he kind of called out Conor McGregor, saying, defend or vacate, MFer, and then McGregor's been kind of silent until a couple days ago, or late last week, where he just simply posted an Instagram post of him like Grand Theft Auto imagery, and just put Tony at the bottom of it. I think he had a gun and was on a boat or something like that. Money everywhere.
Needs to open up his own marketing.
Yeah. So Albert, you made it, right? If Conor McGregor's calling you out, you made it.
That's Red Panties Night.
Panties Night.
I already went to H&M and purchased my new red panties I'm gonna wear on that Tony Ferguson Conor McGregor fight. You made it.
Yeah.
You're gonna see millions of dollars now.
Yeah. Hey, so Guillermo, I'm curious. Why do you think that's not a big deal?
Because I think Conor McGregor peaked already, guys. I think it's to a point where he's picking and choosing his fights because I feel like everybody's catching up to him. I feel like Tony Ferguson might beat him. I think Khabib possibly beat him. And I think right now the taking a game, the thing is, he talked about being active, and I know he's been active, but he did lose to Nate Diaz. The second one was a controversy. He got destroyed by Floyd Mayweather. I mean,
whoa!
To say that this guy hasn't done so much in so little time also takes a toll on his body and mentally. I mean, that's probably why he's taking a break right now.
Yeah.
If you follow him on Instagram, he's on vacation all over the place. I just think there's too many sharks right now that really want, to be where he's at. And I think that motivates a Tony Ferguson that, why do you think he would try to avoid a Tony Ferguson or a Khabib Nurmagomedov? But what the motivating factor is always going to be money. So right now, while he can attract a lot of money, he's going to keep doing these things and try to play to making feuds and stuff like that, and trying to get the biggest buys possible, which is smart. But I think in terms of peaking, and I know he's only 29 years old, but come on, this guy has been active for the last 3, 4, 5 years, fighting 3 to 4 times every year. So and I think it's going to catch up to him.
Guillermo couldn't be more wrong. First of all, Guillermo, the guy was collecting welfare checks a couple of years ago, and of course, we got some millions of dollars. You got to go on that yacht. So I don't blame Conor McGregor for enjoying the beautiful lifestyle he earned. But at the same time, it's not like he's been gone for a year. It's been just a couple months. He's been vacationing. Calm down. It hasn't been like a year or so. And at the same time, I think everyone agreed when they saw the Tony Ferguson-Kevin Lee match that Ferguson allowed himself to take too many shots, and that's something you can't do.
He always does that. It's his fighting style.
Exactly, but that's a fighting style that Conor McGregor can exploit.
Yeah.
And every you look at any MMA,
and that'll be to a cartwheel.
Media, they all said the same thing.
Trip Conor McGregor and submit him, dog.
Nah, it's not. It's not even
I don't know, man. I tend to agree with that one. Like, you can't give Conor McGregor a free shot because if he has power, he's gonna land here. But I think that it is a big deal.
And Tony Ferguson has been rocked and has been almost stopped in the octagon from some vicious punches. So
I think if the UFC is smart, obviously Conor McGregor versus anybody is going to draw, but they're really going to need to build up Tony Ferguson here, like put him out there.
I think Tony's gonna
that way because what if he does?
I don't know what you got to.
But what if he does beat Conor McGregor? Then you're left with the guy who beat Conor McGregor. You need to build up this equity in Tony Ferguson, so they need to go out there and push him and promote him. Because he's known to hardcore MMA fans, because that fight with Kevin Lee was a hardcore MMA fans bout. That wasn't the casual.
Well, did you guys see the pay-per-view buys on that one?
No,
it wasn't too high.
Yeah, see, but
it was only for the.
But everybody knows, maybe if you can't, maybe have Brock Lesnar come in here and do some promos for Tony Ferguson, or have Paul Heyman.
Well, no, that wasn't the problem, guys. If you guys see, there was a lot of other possible matchups in this card, but it kept whether it was falling out like Verdun versus Derek Lewis.
Well, Paige Van Sant too was the big one.
Yeah, Paige Van Sant, and wasn't originally T.J. Dillashaw versus Cody Grandbar supposed to be on this card?
I think so, but they push it back. But then I know Paige Van Sant was probably even if the card took place the way it was supposed to be projected, Paige Van Sant was the biggest star on that card, but she got hurt, so unfortunately. But so we'll see. I think Tony Ferguson, don't be counting his money just yet, but it's a big deal when Conor McGregor calls you out on social media. So even as subtle as that was, you made it, Tony. You made it from Ultimate Fighter. You made it. So that's it for round number one. We're gonna come back and talk about Rafael Dos Anjos versus Robbie Lawler for the number one contender in the welterweight for the welterweight division. So before that's about 5 rounds. Clothesline 5 rounds offer a unique collection of apparel and accessories by incorporating the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts. They are constantly evolving and improving to become the best fight wear company possible in the MMA world. Check out their line of t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and other great accessories at FiveRounds.net. That's number FiveRounds.net. Follow them on Twitter at FiveRoundsWear and on Instagram at FiveRounds_. Get it on. Round 2 coming up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. So it was announced this week that Robbie Lawler versus Rafael Dos Anjos will take place. I forgot what title, what UFC it is, but Dana White. I'll get the info for you right now. Dana White said that the winner of this match will be the number one contender and face champion Tyron Woodley for the UFC welterweight championship. Off the top of my head, I mean, just right away, I guess this is a number one contender bout. But I mean, what are your thoughts about that, Albert?
I think it's way too soon. I think it's showing you how the welterweight division is not as stacked as it used to be with the exit. I mean, when Roy McDonald left, I think we lost a lot of talent in that division, and it just shows you that I think they know it. They're they're rushing this fight way too soon. I think Rafael Dos Anjos hasn't really done that much in the division to get that number one title shot. And I think Robbie Lawler still has to prove himself. Even after, I think even if he gets a devastating win here, I still want to see him fight somebody else before Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, I mean, a decision win against Donald Cerrone since losing the title to Tyron Woodley, and then Rafael Dos Anjos, he's beaten. I think he's 2-0 in the welterweight division.
He beat Magny just recently,
and Tariq Seferdin.
Yeah.
So that equals a title shot. But I mean, I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
I don't get it. That just proves that Dana White's unconditional love and endless love for Robbie Lawler, I guess, right? But I guess who else would there been, right? Right, Guillermo?
Well, no, to me, the first thing is the welterweight division right now is a revolving door. To be honest with you guys, all you guys do is go on a 2-3 win streak to really be mentioned up in the top, because those guys are beating each other up. But given that said, I don't even know why you would say that this is the number one contender fight, because legitimately, if GSP, whether what happens with Michael Bisping decides to go down to welterweight, it's his fight for the calling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so let's first figure that out. I don't know when Tyron Woodley is out but until we kind of really see what happens with GSP's decision, whether he fights Conor McGregor after this, win or loss against Michael Bisping, or does he go back into the welterweight division? So, I mean, maybe it's a backup plan in case GSP doesn't work out to fight Tyron Woodley. And then you have either the winner of Dos Anjos versus Robbie Lawler right after. But other than that, I mean, like you guys are gonna say Stephen Boy, Wonder Boy Thompson, but no. God, I can't. I wouldn't be able to watch him fight a third time against Tyron Woodley. No, but who else is out there?
And that's where I was gonna get in. Guillermo's not gonna like this, but I would have preferred to see Mike Perry versus Rafael Dos Anjos or Robbie Lawler.
God, Albert,
and then my other boy,
Did you see he already they announced his fight?
I know they already announced his fight, but I would prefer to see him fight either RFDA or
Mike Perry's
Robbie
rated
Lawler.
like 15th, dude.
I don't know. I think that would have been more exciting fight for the fans, and I think that would have mixed up the welterweight division a lot better.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess like they're not even like. I guess Rafael Dos Anjos and Robbie Lawler, like, they're names, but I don't know. I think usually just hoping like for a stand and bang competition, and like I don't know, man. But like this welterweight division is like super boring now. But I made the point last week that the division always kind of takes the personality of its champion. And Tyron Woodley's not exactly lighting it up, so this division is lighting it up either. So that's how that is.
I'm more excited with the other division.
Part of the reason,
yeah. What happened?
I was gonna say part of that reason, Alex, is that this division is very skillful in terms of you don't have just a one stylistic dominating. I mean, they're not all bangers in there. You got the jiu-jitsu guys, you got your karate guys, and Stephen Wonderboy. You have your grapplers. It's just such a variety in that weight class in terms of skill level that it really matters who you're facing, because it either makes the fighting boring or it's not boring to me because it's very technical and I like technical fights. Or you get an exciting fight, but Tyron Woodley has to face the right opponent.
Yeah.
And I think this is where it plays into that, because at least Dos Anjos has been known to stand up somewhat,
Yeah.
But if you remember the Clay Guida fight, he is not a ground fighter, which God. I think Tyron Woodley would easily eat that up.
But I mean, like, it's sort of weird. Like, I think is Woodley hurt? I'm not too sure why he's out for so long. But it's almost like I think
it's an invisible injury.
Yeah, we're taking for granted the good days of GSP when he just fought everybody. Like he fought who's next in line. He went through the whole row. Where now Tyron Woodley's kind of trying to pick and choose his fights, calling out guys unsuccessfully. Nobody's interested in a Tyron Woodley super fight. And now we're stuck here with Robbie Lawler versus RDA for no more contender bout because there's really nothing else to do. Because if he could have gone through the line already and fought like a bunch of times, but that's the way he wants his title reign to go. So I mean, he's a champion; he has every right to do that. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is gonna. Dana White said it's gonna happen. No more contender. He said, He just said, yep, it's gonna be no more contender bout. So we'll see how both men come out of that. That's it for round number 2. We're gonna come back and talk about Michael Bisping no longer trolling the fans. Before we do that, let's talk about Mobilitas. Mobility tools are the best mobility tools on the planet. Durable, portable, manufacturer release products designed with more grip to help you improve performance and recover faster. Visit yourjointshouldn'thurt.com for more information to shop their great lines of products. They're also on Instagram at Mobilitas, like them on Facebook, and visit youtube.com/yourjointshouldn'thurt for great tutorials on how to stay healthy and get the best workout possible. Round 3 coming up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 3. So my favorite champion in the UFC, middleweight champion Michael Bisping. So I say it very sarcastically.
Oh, sweet. Good taste, Alex.
As I recently doing a press conference promoting his upcoming bout with George St. Pierre. And as you all know, he was kind of a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, he said that, oh, yeah, I'm going to retire after this bout, win or lose. I think I'm done with this. I'm getting older or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Kind of just trolling the fans. And he recently said here during the interview this week, said, no, I quote, he said, listen, a lot of people are asking me about retirement. I love this too much. I love this whole process, getting ready for a training camp. 8 weeks ago, I was out of shape. Now I feel like I'm the champion of the world. I can beat anyone on this planet, especially this guy pointing over to GSP. I love the whole process. So, no, I won't be retiring. End quote. Will the real Michael Bisping stand up? Is he going to retire? Is he going to stay? Or what is he going to do?
I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. He is making a plan to go back to light heavyweight after this bout, win or lose.
What?
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Somehow in his head, he had it convinced.
British mind.
I don't know if it's just because he's able to see DC a lot that he thinks, you know what? DC don't look that big. He don't look that tough. You know that John Jones is gone? That division doesn't look that scary.
Hey.
And I'm telling you, I think he's looking at that light heavyweight division.
I want to point out we need to keep tally now of every fighter, according to Albert, is going to move up to light heavyweight in the near future. Because every week you're pointing somebody else to do it. Who's going to go to the light heavyweight division? What do you think? Is it Bisping going to stick around for a little bit, or is he going to is he re-trolling the fans a little bit now? Here.
No, I think he beats GSP, and I think he sticks around at middleweight, especially if he's a champion. Second, I mean, I've seen him. He's my good buddy and all.
Oh, yeah,
I've seen him in Las Vegas while he was hurt and injured, or he was still off on time off, and he didn't seem too out of shape. So I think he's like at a good natural weight anyway. So and this is probably why he enjoys the process. Is because he doesn't really have to do much to drop down to
185
middleweight.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I seen him in person, and again, he was drinking a cup of coffee. He loves coffee, especially watching GSP fights.
You gotta stay awake.
But yeah, you gotta stay awake. But I mean, like, he looked somewhat in shape. I mean, I can't say to say that he wasn't in shape, because I've seen other people that are off in between fights and they balloon up,
Yeah.
But that's not the case. So I think he sticks around. I think it was just taken out of context, especially from you and Albert, because you guys are a bunch of jabronis anyway. And you guys will play into anything that gets Michael Bisping out of the UFC.
Definitely trolls me.
I think he sticks around after he whoops GSP anyway.
Yeah, I think he will too. I mean, I don't know if he'll go run the gauntlet. Let's see if he does. He does defeat GSP. I don't think he'll run that gauntlet of Jacare, Luke Rockhold, all those guys here. Especially as all of them are going to go light heavyweight core now. But anyway, so maybe he's seen that.
Guillermo's trying to get his copyright infringement.
Yeah, I know. What's up, Guillermo? You want to lower that a little bit?
They're there and take down our podcast because of your background music.
I think it's funny.
Sorry. But hey, the thing I was gonna say is the other thing too is he has a couple money fights available for him too, with the Robert Whittaker and also the beef with Yoel Romero. I mean, those 2 fights still exist for him, and he can get a good paycheck.
You didn't even talk about Luke Rockhold. That's 3 money fights right there.
Oh yeah, there you go, 3.
He got Demi Lovato on the front row and everything. Just careful.
I'm telling you, Guillermo, take down this podcast because of the background music alone.
No, it's YouTube, so you'll be fine, Albert.
No, that's even worse.
It's even worse. They're on this like crazy. But how much time's left on this round?
We got 1 minute. If you want to spill about our boy Luke Rockhold.
Luke Rockhold. I mean, he's front row for GSP. But yeah, it's kind of funny that all of a sudden Michael Bisping's back in love with fighting as opposed to a couple weeks ago. Maybe he's not getting enough acting gigs. Maybe when he said that, he's a couple.
Just because he hasn't been booked yet.
He just booked. He's I'm just gonna retire. I'm already booked. I'm retiring. Now he hasn't been booked in a while. I love fighting. Fighting is great. I love it. I'm not gonna retire. This is great for me. I'm sure he'll be booked in some like an extra and something or.
I still say that light heavy division is gonna get stacked pretty soon with Craig Weidman moving up.
Luke Rockhold eventually.
Rockhold moving up, and then Michael Bisping.
Machida probably again, right?
Machida moving up. So leaving Yoel Romero right there at that 185 to get.
All by himself. Robert Whittaker and him all by himself. That's it for round number 3. Michael Bisping.
That's the thing too. Robert Whittaker, people. Well, I feel like he needs to start hitting the social media around because I think he's getting lost in the shuffle, and he's the freaking champion.
He's a nice guy. That's what it is. He's just not all about smack talk. He's a gentleman, a sportsman.
A nice guy.
Yeah. That's it for round number 3. We're gonna take a small break and come back and enter the championship rounds. We got 2 more rounds for you guys left. Before this, talk about our good friends and the biggest troll I know. Just kidding. Jason Hendricks of the Dos Leprechauns podcast. Dos Leprechauns podcast, if you're into college football, more specifically Notre Dame, that's the center of their podcast. But they also talk about professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, general sports, and entertainment. It's a great show. Check them out. They have a live Facebook feed every Sunday, I believe. It's on Sundays, but follow them on Twitter, Instagram, social media at Dos Leprechauns, and also contribute. So if you're anything college football, they're all in-depth, super in-depth, actually. Great interviews as well from people in history and lineage of Notre Dame football. Great history. Just a good learning process. That's a culture in itself, right? Notre Dame. Yep. So, check that out. Dos Leprechauns podcast. We got the 4th and 5th rounds coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back into the championship round. So we're going to be a little outside of MMA and UFC, but still concerns at UFC.
In the same realm, if you ask me.
Yeah, TMZ. Guillermo. We good? Guillermo? Hello?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The TMZ recently caught up with former bantamweight champion Ronda Rousey, Mr. and Mrs. Ronda Rousey. Were at the airport, and they're coming in, and they kind of bombarded as you do a random question. Obviously, the big hot topic with Ronda Rousey is she going to go to WWE or not? Blah 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 blah. And then Rousey's doing a really good job of keeping it kayfabe for all you wrestling fans out there. She said, "Quote: If you're a real fan, would you really want to know if I'm going to go? There." She's on my best friends out there, Shania Blazer. I don't want to tell. I even don't want her to tell me anything that ever happened because I enjoy her more that way than I don't want to ruin anything. So basically, Ronda says she's not into big spoilers. So when asked, they asked about maybe what about your husband over there, Travis Browne? She said, well, we'll see. We're still making decisions as part and where I will go in the future. Browne said, I'm not going to say not WWE. So end quote. So obviously, if WWE at their state they're in now, they're going to bend over backwards for Rousey. I mean, they're giving a big push to her best friend Shania, the Queen of Spades Blazer, who was in the finals of their little Mae Young tournament they had there, who probably wasn't the best female wrestler on there, but she has Ronda Rousey backing her. And I'm pretty sure if Ronda Rousey says, hey, you know what, I want to come, but I want my husband to come with me too, Travis Browne, WWE will be more than willing to do it. But how do you think they'll fare? How do you think Travis Browne will fare? Put on your wrestling hat now. How would Travis Browne fare in the WWE?
Let me tackle this.
Travis Browne isn't he as big as what's his name? Strong. Braun Strowman.
I think so, yeah.
Big as the muscular.
Not as muscular.
But look, this is what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking this is going to be the opposite of when Triple H brought China. The whole thing with that was that Triple H picks a bodyguard and it's a woman nonetheless, and so that kind of gives him more like fuel to his heel. Like, that just makes fans even more mad. And I think with Ronda Rousey, if she brings in Travis Browne as her bodyguard, I think that makes sense, and that way it keeps Travis Browne from essentially wrestling. Yeah, but he's still part of the show.
So he's the one kind of pushing around all the other female wrestlers.
Exactly.
What do you think, Guillermo? I don't know.
I like it. I'm booking it.
I hate it. I hate it completely because you guys complain about how all these non-wrestlers get such big pushes, and you guys are actually happy of two non-wrestlers coming into the fold.
Yeah, I didn't say happy at all.
Getting all the credibility and becoming women's champion, becoming WWE champion and stuff, or universal champion, and you guys are okay with that. That's crazy. That's so. I mean, it's like saying, "Oh, let's watch Baron Corbin." Like, I just don't get you guys. From week after week, you guys complain about guys like that, and you guys are actually happy and excited about this.
I'm not excited about this at all.
And Ronda Rousey.
But
yeah, you are, Alex.
No,
don't act like you're not.
I mean, but I
just feel like it's gonna be this big ass faction again, and it's gonna be revolved around Travis Browne or all these MMA type people, and it's gonna suck, guys.
So you're telling me, Guillermo, you wouldn't watch WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar and Sable versus Travis Browne and Ronda Rousey?
I wouldn't even. At that point, I would actually not even order the pay-per-view.
That's a lie.
Because you don't have to, because you for $10.99 for $9.99
If I knew that was the main event,
he has my login for WWE.
So you're gonna be watching.
Hey, don't tell people our secret.
I guess
I'll start telling everybody what you order on Amazon.
Don't you be looking? Don't be looking at my Amazon list. It's my wish list. This is Albert's wish list. Don't you be looking at it.
I mean, I guess it might help out. I don't know, but I don't see Travis Browne doesn't really ooze charisma.
That's why I said like a bodyguard role kind of thing. I see that.
I can't imagine him cutting a promo. I think Ronda, if Ronda does go, they'll do her best to protect her, and she'll run a gauntlet that division. Maybe do like a Brock Lesnar of the division, just come in every once in a while, wrestle, and then leave, disappear. Because I don't see Ronda Rousey cutting promos either. I mean, you've seen her acting a little bit, right? She played herself in Entourage. I still had trouble believing that was Ronda Rousey. But I mean, this is where it's looking like she's not going to fight anymore. And it's also looking like Travis Browne is going to go that way too, because he's probably figured, what the heck? I mean, why get knocked out more? Why get submitted? Where I can just go wrestle and just it'll still be tough on the body.
Vince likes big guys. Travis Browne is huge.
He's a big guy, so especially in today's era, so might as well.
Someone needs to replace the Big Show.
Oh, there you go, right? Wow, there you go. Interesting, and then you got Brock Lesnar, and then Travis Browne doesn't really ooze like intimidation like Brock Lesnar does, so maybe they can't do it like that, but
and he's from Hawaii, so he can pass for Samoan.
You're Samoan gimmick.
WWE rules.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. The Usos
do need another group member.
There you go. That's how WWE thinks.
It's all about the trifecta now.
All right, we got one more round coming up, but before that's about our great friends, great partners over at FightBookMMA.com. FightBookMMA.com is the only place you'll find real combat news from all over the world, real combat sports news from all over the world. A website you can trust with accurate news from MMA, kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai. It's all there under one roof to cover everything from local promotions to the major ones like UFC, Bellator, LFA, King of the Cage, Titan FC, Golden Boy Promotions for boxing, Lion Fight for Muay Thai, and much more. They have a great podcast section as well. We're on there. Just great collection of combat sports podcasts under one roof. Just bookmark it. Do yourself a favor. Also follow them on Twitter and Instagram at FightBookMMA and like them on Facebook. Fifth and final round coming up next. All right, welcome to the fifth and final round here. So, I mean, as lifelong sports fan, I appreciate it when we get inside look, to an athlete's life and how they train and how they live and how they got to that level. But sometimes fighters share a little too much, and it kind of gets him in trouble. Hence, Mark Hunt has been pulled from his UFC Fight Night 121 bout in Australia, citing medical concerns by the UFC. But that kind of stemmed from an article that Hunt wrote for himself at the playersvoice.com.au, I guess an Australian website, where he entitled, quote, this is kind of, "If I die fighting, that's fine." That was the title of the article he wrote. And I guess in there he said that he has trouble sleeping now, and that he's beginning to stutter and slur his words because of the years of getting punched in the head. And after this article was published, the UFC, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and pull you from this fight you got coming up in a couple weeks here, for your own health, for your own safety. I guess we're going to run some tests on you and see what's up. And then Mark Hunt, he just posted a pretty slick selfie of him in a car saying, "At Dana White, you piece of S, mother effer, why you effers pulled me from the fight? You get another lawsuit. You F-wit, you can kiss my A, you bald-headed, I guess we could say prick, right? Prick, and a bunch of middle fingers. You put the chicken S, B in getting F'd, S, C, sucker."
Are you slurring your words?
It was just hard to read. I couldn't say it on. Okay, what?
I think we're gonna have to pull you from this podcast. You're slurring.
That was rough. Every word was like a U S U M F C S sucker.
All I I want to say is if we're going off of fighters slurring the words and not being to pronunciate, half that roster shouldn't be fighting. Let's keep it real. Chuck Liddell, even before his knockouts, was already slurring his words, and I could understand one thing that guy was saying sometimes. He was just mumble on.
Forrest Griffin.
Yeah, Forrest Griffin. I mean, come on. The guy even now, I don't even know when we see the behind the footage stuff and embedded. I don't know what the heck he's saying half the time. I mean, if that's what I'm saying. If we're going off of slur words and whatever, when was the last time Bigfoot Silva ever made sense to you?
Well, he's fighting the UFC anymore, but
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
so, I mean, if that's what they're going off, they're 100% wrong. The guy passed every medical he had to pass. I don't understand why they pulled him out. There's a reason why there's doctors and medical exams before a MMA fighter actually fights in an event.
Yeah.
And if we're going over slow words, I mean, Tony Ferguson, for crying out loud, didn't make one bit of sense leading up to the Lee fight, and I didn't see no one pull him out.
Yeah. I mean, Garen, what do you think about this? Good move of the UFC, bad move for Mark Hunt for sharing so much?
I think UFC's right. I mean, it pretty much Mark Hunt did like a self-guilt letter. I mean, like, the thing is, Albert can talk about that, and that he's probably right. Out of all these other fighters that have, slurs and other stuff, but they don't come out and say, hey, I have trouble speaking. Yeah. I have, this issue mentally, or because if you really think about it, I mean, there's a lot of fighters. If you start looking around, I mean, like, what's up with Tito Ortiz's neck? I mean, like, his neck has always been an issue, and he's always said he's always been in pain. And I'm just giving you an example. Is like, if he were to pencil that, hey, my neck is not 100%, and yet he's still fighting. You get me?
Yeah.
So once you pencil in the guilt or what you're really like suffering from, of course, now at this point you have to take action. You have to. It's known. You could be
so much wrong. GSP has publicly stated that he thinks he sees alien, or he's been abducted by aliens because he's losing time during the day. Like, he'd be driving at one point, and then all of a sudden he's at the location like an hour later, and he doesn't even remember driving. Or he'll be at his house, and he loses a bunch of time. Like, he'll be there. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Are you gonna put it on your Twitter handle?
And he's missing a bunch of time. But yet, not one peep out of Dana White. You know why? Because there's too much money involved for GSP for him to pull him out like he pulled out Mark Hunt. Yeah. Let's keep it real.
Keep it real.
Are you going to put that up on Cedo Wars? You have the link to that?
If you want, I'll put that link. Don't be giving out my...
I kind of want to see it, too. So TMZ Sports caught up with Dana White and said, hey, are you mad about what Mark Hunt called you? He said, quote, sometimes you got to protect these guys.
Spin it, Dana, spin it.
Sometimes you got to protect these guys from themselves, and that's what we're looking at right now. I don't hate Mark Hunt at all. I've never hated Mark Hunt. He knows that. I was actually really good to Mark Hunt, end quote.
Never was good to the guy.
So, I mean, wasn't there another fighter who kind of...
Albert, if he was never good to the guys, why hasn't he cut him?
True.
Because he has a fan base.
And he's not a moneymaker.
Because he still sells T-shirts, bro. That's
because they go to Australia once a year. That's why.
Yeah, he still has Australian cards.
They have Robert Whittaker now. And
he hates.
That's why they have Robert Whittaker.
So the Man Bear pick, knowing the Man Bear pick was on something.
Yeah. Now that I think Mark Hunt and James Huna didn't really, pan out, they have Robert Whittaker. So
and how long did it take for Mark Hunt to make the switch over to Pride to UFC? He was one of the last fighters to actually fight. That everyone was like, "Come on, man, we want to see some Mark Hunt." And there's a reason behind that, because Dana White hates Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt is 43 years old, and I said he admitted to memory loss and stuff like that in the article.
GSP.
So, but GSP, he's credited aliens, right? So I don't know. That's CTE, bro. It's not alien abduction. That's it for this week's show. Keep up to date with us by following us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. It's FIVE_roundMMA. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts. Not iTunes anymore. Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, and YouTube. And visit FiveRoundMMA.com for all the latest and greatest. That's it for this week's show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to say, every pro wrestler should be a part-time wrestler, and there's showing me a handful of core wrestlers. I'm sick and tired. I think that's what's wrong with WWE. I'm sick and tired of seeing all these wrestling matches. The same thing I see last week and the week before that. I think they should all be part-time guys. Get in there for 3 months, and I'll see you in 3 months.
You think no more 3-hour Raws? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Wow, that's a different podcast right there, buddy. Again, what do you got?
Woohoo! The cream of the crop.
You are now listening to Afro Mighty Radio.